Hey everybody, and welcome to another live edition of the Sewing Report. I'm your host Jennifer Moore, and I'm here to help you discover your love of sewing if you don't have it already. So welcome this Labor Day weekend. If you live in the United States, it is a holiday weekend. For us, that means that the trash is going to be picked up a day late, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. But if you watched last week's show, you know that initially I was planning to have this week's show be about sewing machines and, how much you should pay for a sewing machine, but then with everything happening in the world, I thought it would be a much better and more appropriate topic to talk about how to use our sewing and quilting skills to help other people. So that's what we're going to be focusing on this week. So if you'd like to get in on that conversation, stay here if you're watching it live, or if you're watching the replay. There's going to be a lot of comments, and I'm also going to pop up the chat screen so that those of you not watching live can still see all the comments that happen during the live show, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here for the conversation. So thank you everybody for joining me, and let's get right into it. So this week has been rough for a lot of people. Just one thing we can do, we can pray for them, we can keep them in our thoughts, but even more importantly, we can actually do things to help other people in need. And I think that's one thing that I love about the sewing community, is just how strong we are and how we can come together when something good or bad happens. And that's really what I want to focus on. All right, we've got a few people watching. We've got Sterling, Vic, Stephanie, and is it Basma from Kuwait? Wow, someone's watching in Kuwait. That's kind of awesome. So for those of you, I'm sure everyone's aware, but there was a hurricane that hit Texas and also Louisiana as a tropical storm Harvey, and it's caused a lot of damage and so much havoc on that area in the southeast. So obviously we can pray for these folks, and we should. But you know what? There's been a lot of debates and a lot of talking this week that I've seen in various Facebook groups and social media about, for those of us who sew and quilt, how can we help? And also, what's the best way to actually help people? So I'm going to pop up the chat window right now, and let's just start talking. But that's what I kind of wanted to focus in on, is just, like for those of us who do sew, I know after what happened in Orlando at the Pulse nightclub, the Orlando Modern Quilt Guild really got together, and really they started this huge thing, the Quilts for Pulse project, and they made over 1,800 quilts. And also I've been posting, if you don't follow me on Facebook, you definitely should, because in between this show I will post a lot of stories and give my insight and just talk about stuff that is happening in between our live shows on Sundays. So definitely feel free to follow me on Facebook. I've linked my handle below. It's obviously facebook.com/sewing report. But in between the show, that's where we can also talk and continue the conversation. I share a lot of sewing news stories and a lot of things that I see that I think are interesting. So if you like what I do here, definitely make sure to follow the Facebook page, because you'll get much more of me there. If that's something you want, I don't know, that maybe this much might be too much for people. But if you happen wondering like what you can do to help people, I've seen a lot of articles basically, and this is something too that people should be aware of. In times of tragedy, a lot of people try to donate stuff. They try to donate food, clothing, quilts, teddy bears, and from what I'm seeing this week from various articles, sometimes that's not always the best thing you can do, just because of all the logistics that are involved in transporting these items, in, having people distribute them and keep track of everything. The articles I'm seeing were basically saying, you know what, that causes even more problems. So that may not be the best thing to do. The charities this week are saying, please donate cash. That's the thing that will help us the most, and also will help us allocate our resources best, because when you have to keep track of stuff, then it costs money for that charity or that organization to, transport it or make sure it's distributed, when donating cash really allows those charitable organizations to do what's best with the money and what's the most efficient. because in these sorts of circumstances, it's very important to make their dollars go as far as possible. And I've seen a lot of so much giving, so many people stepping up to help. Obviously, football player J.J. Watt. I'm not a huge football fan, but I'm really inspired by what he has been doing to help. He's raised over $10 million to help the people affected by Harvey. So there's a lot of us that want to help, but we're not sure how, or we're not sure what the best thing to do is. And for those of us with the talents of sewing and quilting, there, obviously we can donate our time, we can donate our abilities. And yeah, so let's chat about that. We got a few more comments. We got Barbara from Texas, Mila from Tennessee. Vic, for those of us who are far away, a good idea is to put a quilt project on tickets to fundraise. Exactly. And that's actually more my lines of thinking. There was a conversation I saw earlier this week in a Facebook group. People are like, oh, can you have too many quilts? And, should you give quilts to people in need? And here's the thing. The people right now affected by Harvey, many of them don't even have a safe place to stay. They're in shelters. They're, if they were able to get out of their homes, they're not in a position where they can really accept things beyond their immediate needs, which is basic clothing and food and water. So I know many of us might think, oh, them having a quilt would be awesome. And yes, it would, but more down the line when they're back into a safe living situation, and a situation where they can accumulate personal belongings. Many people lost everything, every single thing they own. I'm in one Facebook group, and a woman was writing all of her sewing supplies and fabric were destroyed by floodwater. And then she was like, well, can I wash the fabric? And other people were like, because there might be like contaminants or other sorts of stuff in the water, she may have to throw everything out just because there's no way she could sanitize all of the items that were destroyed by the flood, particularly fabric, especially if there's, you don't know what's in that water. So I thought that was a good point to bring up, that people are like, you know what? You may have to throw it out just because it's not safe for you to keep these items. So anything that can't be sanitized, a lot of these people are going to be losing, bedding, quilts, things that they've made. Again, lots of sewing supplies and fabric. And, that's just something to think about. I've never had to deal with that really before. I think my house flooded once when I was a kid, but I really didn't understand the full gravity of the situation. And it was in the basement, so I probably lost some stuffed animals and toys. But I've never personally been in a situation where I've literally lost every single thing I own and feared for my life. So for those of us who have not experienced something like that, we are very blessed. But let's definitely keep these people in Texas and Louisiana and everywhere else that might be affected. Obviously, there's another storm coming, so hopefully it does not hit the United States. Let's hope not, because we don't really need any more of that. We got a couple more comments. We got Sequoia Luigi and Stephanie. My office was trying to figure out how to do a food drive and send the food, but physically shipping it there was really the limiting factor. So individual donations it is, Stephanie. And yeah, that's so right. The logistics nightmare of getting all this stuff to Texas, if you're living in Alaska, it would make more sense and cost less for you to donate money to people on the ground who can get supplies closer, more in close proximity to where they are. So I think that's something to think about. So if you are looking to help, I've listed below in the description box some there's a website called Charity Navigator. Obviously not all charities, are as efficient with their dollars as others. So I guess this website, Charity, I think Navigator, has graded different charities on how good they are with their finances. And that's something to keep in mind too. You want as many of your dollars to really go to helping people rather than be for like a CEO or, administrative costs. Who wants that? So I've listed below some charities that I've kind of done a little bit of homework on. Obviously, though, before you donate anything, please do your homework. And I would ask you to please, check out the charity, make sure they're legitimate, and make sure that what you think your money is going toward actually does go toward that. So that's important to keep in mind. We've got Linda from Montana, Champagne Twist. I agree that cash is the best way to help, but there are some who can't afford to give money but may have a spare time or physical items they wish to donate. Champagne Twist, that's a good point, and we are going to talk about that because that's sort of where I'm headed in the direction of helping. We've got Linda from Montana. We've got Vic. Quilts and sewn objects would be great to donate a few months from now when people need to rebuild their homes. Exactly. When someone has the space and, facilities and, the ability to keep things, then that would definitely be a better time. Also, we need to know what people actually need. Quilts are wonderful and sewn items are wonderful, but obviously these people need food, medical supplies, water, a safe place to stay. So while what we do is awesome, there are just more immediate needs that have to be met right now. We've got a Sequoia. I think the other storm is headed towards South America. Yeah, like I was just reading an article on it and it said there was a chance, but it also could like just curve out and go somewhere else. So let's hope it goes somewhere else. Because we don't want another, I know it's hurricane season and these things are to be expected, but with all the stuff going on right now, these people need a break. We've got is it Deshinda? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm really sorry because I'm really terrible with pronunciations. Definitely donating through my church. They're driving to Houston to hand out clothing, food. That's awesome. I'm also in Georgia as well. So, and I'll, a little bit later, I'll kind of share what I felt compelled to do to help. Soda Fit. Hello in Houston. Oh, and Soda Fit, I hope everything's okay with you. She says, we are not in need of anything right now. Hold those sewn items until better able to get it to a person directly. And coming from someone straight from Houston, that is good to hear. Soda Fit, I hope you are not personally affected by this. Hopefully you and your family are all okay. We get Champagne Twist. Please keep in your prayers the people suffering from the effects of floods and monsoon in South Asia. It has been underreported in both the UK and the US. Champagne Twist, thank you for that. But yeah, this has been a pretty rough week all around. There's a lot to think about, and I just feel extremely blessed to have a safe home, and not have lost all my stuff, so I have food to eat, and I'm safe and healthy. So I think there's a lot to be grateful for if you are things like this just make you feel grateful for what you do have, right? So yeah, I feel like I'm on the verge of getting really emotional for not a whole lot of reasons, but I don't know. This has just been a pretty heavy week. So Soda Fit, for instance, try to get with an individual member of a church or group like my daughters who work for Habitat for Humanity to get this directly and who can make sure the individuals get what you want. So again, if you are thinking about sewing things for people in need, I think that's wonderful, but just make sure to communicate with people to make sure that that's what they actually need and actually want. Maybe there's something else you can do. And I think, so I'll get to what I'm going to do. So I was kind of thinking, because these charities need cash, why not, I've seen a few businesses doing this week. Why not, if you sell patterns or if you sell things, donate a portion of the proceeds to a charity. Or, maybe you can raffle or give, sell an item or auction off something you've made and then give the money to a cause you believe in and a cause you want to get behind. I think that's another great way to get the charitable organization what they need, but also you are using your gifts and sewing talent to, sorry guys, my hands are like going kind of crazy. That's a way that you can use your sewing talents to help other people indirectly. So, and if you are someone that has donated your time, donated your handmade items, if you want to share maybe what you've done in the past that you felt called to do, led to do, and, just share some stories. So that's what I want to hear. If you donate, maybe like, angel gowns to hospitals, or if you donate blankets to an organization like a women's shelter, let us know in the comments because, maybe that would inspire someone else here to do something similar or just to get out and do something. Because I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. And I think when Harvey came around, I was just like, you know what, this is the time. This is when I can, you know, kind of put into action what I've been thinking about doing for a while. So, okay, we've got a soda fit. Okay. My house took on minimal water. Daughter Jennifer lost everything. I am so sorry. I hope your son and daughter-in-law were rescued, but went back and house only got minimal water. Soda fit, I really hope Jennifer has a place to stay, and I hope she's able to get back on her feet. I'm really sorry to hear that. I know people are like, oh, well, they must have insurance, right? You know, well, one, not everyone has flood insurance. And also, you know, that doesn't replace things. That doesn't replace your photos. That doesn't replace your memories in places. And, you know, I know there are sometimes issues with insurance companies paying out claims. So even if you do have insurance, I do know that really doesn't discount the fact that there is going to be a tough road ahead. But yeah, so Soda Fit, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'm so sorry to hear about your family members losing everything they own. That I cannot even, I honestly can't even imagine what that's like. And if you are in Houston, just know that we are praying for you. We are pulling for you, and we're going to stand with you. So, okay. Yeah. And so if it says beware of rental insurance, it is not flood insurance. And that is definitely something to keep in mind. And actually I've had flood insurance in, I actually did live in Texas years ago. I lived in El Paso. And weirdly enough, I was in El Paso in 2006 when they had a huge flood. I don't believe my condo I owned a condo at the time. I don't believe I had flood insurance. But thank goodness I was actually in a part of El Paso that did not flood at all. So my condo was totally okay, but we lived in Florida previously to Atlanta, and anywhere in Florida, if you own a property, you should definitely have flood insurance. So we had flood insurance there. We actually have flood insurance here, even though we don't really live in an area that's prone to flooding. I think across the board, flood insurance, if you own a property, it's just something that's really good to have, just in case. You never know what's going to happen. So it's, again, if you have been lucky so far, just make sure that you are covered to the max with all the insurance you can get, and that you have a plan in place for the worst case scenario, basically, because again, as we've seen this week, stuff happens. All right, we got Stephanie. My sister found out the hard way when she was living in New Orleans. Oh boy, right before Katrina hit. Thankfully, her house survived since she didn't have any insurance. And that's the saddest thing. You know, when you see people that have lost their homes from a fire and they don't have insurance, maybe they don't have a mortgage, that's gotta be, that just has to be the worst feeling ever is not only that you lose everything, but you can't even rebuild. So this show is definitely not a super upbeat show this week. But hopefully we can commiserate with each other and talk. So yeah, if you use your sewing and quilting talents to help other people, feel free to share what you do, share how you got involved, and also why you chose this route. Because I think it's important to talk about, and I also think it might inspire other people in here to do something that helps other people. So I'll share with you what I decided to do. So I'd been chatting with some people in a Facebook group, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Because especially with quilts, it's hard to get people to pay what they're worth. But why not a raffle or something like that? So I kind of chose a unique route. So on my Facebook page, I'm doing something until next Saturday, September 9th. And I've had a few projects that I've made, some for the channel, some just because I made things, purses. And also, I'm raffling off that really awesome Dracarys Game of Thrones pillow cover I made for last week's video. So I posted a few photos of things I've made on Facebook, and I basically told everyone, and you guys are included if you would like to participate. If you donate $20 or more to one of the charities I listed, post a screenshot under the photo, and you will be basically, I'm going to pick somebody who screenshots each item to win whatever the item is. So I've had a few purses that I liked. I didn't really have a particular recipient in mind, so I had these items already made, and so I decided, you know what, why not just give them away to people that donate to a charity right now. So, and also I liked that idea because the money, money's not crossing my hands at that point. Basically, people who want to participate just donate directly to the charity, so the charity gets the money right away. And then at random, with the number randomizer, if there's more than one person that sends a screenshot under each item, I'm going to pick at random someone to get that item. I will ship anywhere in the United States. Because of international laws, I really have to keep these to the United States just because international laws tend to get a little murky and I don't really want to get in any trouble in that sense. But that's what I decided to do. It's a very small thing, obviously, but just something small I can do to maybe help motivate people to donate to one of the fine charities we have, like the Houston Food Bank. There's also Samaritan's Purse. There are a lot of organizations, the Red Cross. There are many organizations that are stepping in to help, and there's a lot of good people out there. And there's so many stories about people doing really heroic or very selfless things. So with everything going on, it's also kind of nice to see how good people can be. So, all right, we got a couple more comments. We've got SodaFit. Thank you for doing the show. I can't stay the whole time, but glad you breached this topic, and thank you for joining us. And again, we'll be praying for you and your family, and I hope everything turns out okay for your daughter Jennifer. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with us for a little bit. All right, Vic in Fort McMurray in Alberta went through some massive fires last year. Oh, I totally remember those. Hundreds and hundreds lost their homes. I know someone who was made homeless. Are a lot of people who don't have home insurance. And it's so unfortunate. And I know a lot of people, if you've got the choice between getting homeowners insurance or buying food, it can be a very obviously tough decision. And a lot of people are obviously going to choose the food. People just sometimes have to make really difficult decisions, and it can put them in a very risky place as well. We've got Champagne Twist. Sadly, in some cases, insurance protects the insurers better than the insured. Please always read the small print and ask questions before you sign. Good point to make. I wish you and your family all the best, SodaFit. Okay, but yes, please, if you do have any stories about stories or even recommendations or thoughts about using our gifts of sewing and quilting to help other people, please feel free to share them. We'd love to hear them. And that's what this hour is all about. And weirdly enough, we almost didn't start the show on time because my husband had turned off all the circuit breakers to do something, and I was like, why don't we have internet? But now we have internet again, so the show was able to go on, and he's finished. But yeah, so over on my Facebook page, I've linked to the post in the I cannot talk. I've linked to the post in the description box, and you're welcome to check that out and see if you're interested in anything I've made, or if you want something made by me. All you have to do is donate $20 or more to one of the organizations listed, and just comment with that screenshot showing me that you donated, and you can be eligible to win one of several handmade items. And I'll show you some of the items. We've got the very red. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you can get one of these. And this is one of the items. I've also got some really cute purses I've made. A pink one, a pink sparkly one, a really cool swoon Harriet bag that's in like blue and silver metallic fabric. And there's a couple. I made some really cute clutch purses that look like fruit slices. There's a grapefruit and a watermelon. So if you're into purses and you would like a purse I made, head over to the Facebook page and you can check it out there, see if there's anything you like. Because we are doing an online virtual raffle, hopefully to encourage people to donate to the hurricane relief efforts. So yes, so the pillow, yeah, that is a pretty cool pillow. And So yeah, we're just hanging out, and all right, we've got, other than donating money, does anyone have ideas for international supporters? You know, Vic, honestly, the money is king right now. Cash is king, and the charities have really made it very clear to everyone this week. Please donate money. That is the best way you can help. I know sometimes it can feel not very personal, but that is truly what will help the most people in this situation is cash. Vic, if you want, you can try to sell some items, or maybe, you know, do what I'm doing, raffle things off, auction things off, and donate the money to charity. That way it feels more personal to you. But someone had a good point. I was talking to a friend of mine, and someone was like, you know what? It's not about what makes the giver feel good about giving. It's what actually helps the recipient. And charities, again, in these articles I read, they're like, you know, please, the best thing you do is give money. It's not canned good. It's not even bottled water sometimes. It's cash, because then they can decide what they need the money for, and also work out more efficiently how to get supplies, food, clothing to the people that actually need it. All right, Melita, I have a lot of terry cloth. Any ideas for quick projects? Melita, you know, I love terry cloth, and I love toweling fabric. I make a lot of baby bibs, and also like burp cloths. So that's something you can do. You can back it. You can have like the terry cloth on one side, and then like a really cute cotton print. And you can make all kinds of stuff. I've even used terry cloth to make placemats. I put, you know, cotton quilting cotton on one side, and then terry cloth on the other side. You can also make, obviously, like little bathrobes. You can make some really cute baby items. In fact, I was actually thinking about using my like waffle weave cloth that I have left to make one of those really cute hooded towels for a baby. I don't even have a recipient in mind, but I just thought it would be cute to make one and do it with some bias binding on the edge. So there's a lot of really cute projects with terry cloth, but I think baby items, like if you have a little bit and you want to make small items, you can also use them to make like napkins, you know, maybe some towels, placemats, stuff like that. A champagne twist. It's likely that many will not be in their own homes by Christmas end of the year. Maybe we could start making quilts, blankets, and other items, and then send those near the time. And champagne twist, that may be something to do in the future. In fact, I will share a story. Oh yes, Kirsten, good point. Donating blood is a great idea. The hospitals and other medical facilities were also affected. Kirsten, I kind of spaced on that, but that is an excellent thing to bring up. If you would like to do something, donate blood, you know, see what else you can donate to that will help people that maybe, you know, obviously there's always a blood shortage, especially here in the United States. You know, and I know, like, I've heard from people that work for the Red Cross, you know, blood donations tend to spike when something like this happens, and then the rest of the time, you know, nobody donates. But that's something that you can do all the time to try to help other people who need blood. Patients, hospitals, you could save someone's life. I know my mom used to donate plasma a lot. I will be honest, I have like a really, really terrifying fear of needles, and I also am pretty small, and they have a hard time taking my blood. So I'll confess, the idea of donating blood, to me, I haven't been able to bring myself to do it. I can barely get myself to do a blood draw for my own reasons. So I'm a little bit of a baby. So, but I think if you like donating blood and you are not scared of needles, please do that. I feel terrible saying this. I'm so scared of needles. The last time I had my blood drawn, for some reason, I was like, I get like these panic attacks. My blood is very difficult to draw because apparently I have like tiny veins, and they have to use the needles meant for like babies, like the butterfly needles. It's just one of those things. So hopefully I can help out in other ways to make up for that. You know, we're not perfect, that's, yeah, I'm just, yeah, I don't know why I went off on this tangent. I really did not need to say that. But in the spirit of being honest, I have never had the I guess personality and demeanor to donate blood, because I just can't even let a doctor like get near me to draw blood for like my own blood tests. So anyways, I'm really sorry for the people who need blood. But yeah, if you like donating blood and you are not terrified of needles, please go ahead and do that, because obviously there are a lot of people in need of blood. I'm not even sure what blood type I have. That's like how not with it I am. Yeah, so even getting a shot for me, if I know I'm getting the shot ahead of time, I'll kind of panic thinking about it for months ahead. That's how bad the situation is. Even as an adult, when I have to go to get shots or something, I just start crying. It's pretty embarrassing actually, and it's not something I'm really proud of, obviously. But that's the truth. That's the truth. We got Maria. My veins are hard to find. I'm scared of needles too, and for some reason it always takes 3 to 4 pokes to find a vein. Yes. Yeah, and honestly, I think we should probably stop talking about this topic, because I don't want to scare people off from. I really don't want to scare people off from donating blood. So I'm kind of regretting saying this, but yeah, I'm absolutely, like Sequoia said, I am terrified of just terrified, like to the point where it is super embarrassing. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on. But yeah, so if you'd like to help with Hurricane Harvey, you want to do something, the charities have said the best thing to do is donate cash. And if you want to use your sewing and quilting talents to raise money to donate, that's something I think we can all do. We got Vic. Yeah, I'm just starting to get past my fear of needles oh my gosh, I am so sorry, Vic. Yeah, there are some of these people in this group, we have been through a lot. I'm so sorry to hear that, Vic. I can certainly understand why you are not a fan of needles or anything that has to do with blood work. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you're okay. Wow, that is, I honestly don't even know what to say, but I'm so sorry. There's just, and that's the thing, like, I think that's another thing I love about the sewing community is how much we can be there for each other. And, I've been in some groups, and some people will share some really personal things. And, it's just amazing to see how supportive other people are and how loving and caring people truly are. I know for all the hubbub surrounding lots of hateful things that are going on, I think when you step outside and you actually really talk to people, you realize how good people can be. So I know, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting like overly emotional in this episode, and I'm probably, I don't even think after this show, I'm probably not even going to go back and watch this, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, please keep all the people in Texas and Louisiana and whoever else may be affected by Harvey. You can definitely keep them in your prayers, and support people emotionally as well as with stuff or with money. But that's what I wanted to talk about. I know this week I was gonna next week, unless something else changes, next week we will do the topic that I initially meant for this week, which is to talk about how much you should budget or pay for a sewing machine. But this week, let's just kind of use each other as a shoulder to cry on. So yeah, it's been a pretty tough week. I've seen so many images and so many videos of people that just make you want to just break your heart and make you want to cry. But I'm going to try not to do that. Let's talk about let's talk about some happier stuff. This week's video, if you have not seen it, and by the way, I shoot and edit and prepare these videos in advance. So this one was shot probably about a month ago. But this week's video is about what really happens in my sewing room. It's a kind of a weird, silly music video that I thought people might find fun. So that's up right now on the channel if you'd like to see that. I also linked it in the description box below. And I've also linked a vlog I did a few weeks ago about YouTube Creator Day. So you're welcome to check that out as well. Oh, and I do have something kind of happy to talk about in other news. Besides all this stuff that's really heartbreaking and depressing. Yes, Linda, that's actually what I was going to talk about. So tomorrow for a full day, so tomorrow is late. If you're not in the States, there's a holiday called Labor Day weekend, and Labor Day is Monday/tomorrow. For a whole day, Craftsy members are able to stream all classes for free. Yes, you heard that right. All classes on Craftsy for tomorrow only. If you're a Craftsy member, if you don't have a Craftsy membership, you can sign up real fast. So it's free to sign up, and then you can pay for class. Basically, right now you pay a la carte, although I understand because NBC bought Craftsy. In the future, they're probably going to go to more of a subscription model like everything else in the world. They're going to subscription-based. But tomorrow only, you will be able to stream any Craftsy class you want for free. So even if you have a Craftsy membership and you've never bought a class, you can still watch all the classes you want for free. So guys, get the popcorn out, get your sewing machines ready, and be prepared to binge watch Craftsy tomorrow. In fact, let's binge watch Craftsy so hard the site crashes or something, because that would be kind of interesting. But in the description box, I've linked below a place where you can see all the details about this Craftsy promotion. And if you don't have a membership already, I would definitely recommend you get one, because they do even have a lot of free classes that you don't have to pay for, and they have free patterns on there. And you can also get some really great deals on sewing supplies and sewing and fabric. So that's one happy thing I do have to talk about is the Craftsy Labor Day, I think it's called like All You Can Watch Day, they're calling it. So that's pretty awesome, and that is one really cool thing I do have to share with you this week, is that tomorrow we can watch all the Craftsy classes we want for free, and I'm pretty excited because there's a few classes that I have not purchased that I wanted to watch, so I'm probably going to be doing that tomorrow. There are a few classes about like sewing industry secrets, how to do things a lot faster, so I'm actually probably going to try to check those out. Since I have not purchased them, at least tomorrow I can go in there and watch them. And I kind of want to see if they're worth buying or not. So if there is a class that maybe you're on the fence about and you're not sure if you want to buy or not, maybe that's a good way you can watch a few hours of it and say, not for me. Or you can say, yes, this is willing to pay $19.99 for, or $19.95 for. So I think that's a really cool thing Craftsy's doing. And, there was another thing Craftsy was in the news several weeks ago. I don't know. Okay, we've got a couple comments here. So Linda, yes, thank you for the reminder. And it is I have linked in the description box where you can go on Craftsy to sign up for that. So if you don't already have a Craftsy membership, sign up right now because it's an awesome site. There's an app, so you can either watch it on your desktop or you can get the app for your phone or iPad or tablet or whatever phone. And you can watch, they have tons of classes, and there's sales all the time there, so their sales are great. But if you want to wait to see what the subscription model does, maybe, like if you're a new Craftsy member and the subscription model is coming out, maybe you want to wait to sign up to see what, because I'm sure they're probably all going to also do some sort of free 30-day trial or something like that. All right, we've got Deshinda. Which class do you recommend for beginners? Deshinda, there are so many classes. They have a lot of free classes too. Like there's a free one on like sewing machine basics. They have a few free classes about knitting. I've seen free classes about all kinds of things. So Deshinda, my recommendation is go to Craftsy, sign up for it. There's a link in the description box for this video. And you can go check out all the offerings, and you can also sort through them to see which classes are free and which ones are not. There are free classes on zippers, on all kinds of things. So definitely check that out. And you can use the free classes to gauge, is it worth buying paid classes? Or if you're very new to the site, it may be worth hanging out and kind of seeing what happens with this whole NBC acquisition to see if and when they go to the subscription-based model, if it's only $9.99 a month or something, I'd probably do that, and then you can get access to all the classes too. We've got, Barbara, be sure to check your email. My email says it's not available through the app. You have to use the link in the email. But Barbara, I have linked to where you can get it. So I'm also a Craftsy affiliate as well, so I got an email all about the promotion. You can also read about it on my website, sewingreport.com. I was so excited to hear that last night that I went ahead and I wrote a really quick blog post about all of the promotional details. But yes, you can watch all the classes for free tomorrow for 1 day only. But yes, you can certainly use the link in the description box, and that's the link I was specifically given as a Craftsy affiliate. And that should take you to the spot where you can watch all the classes for free. And Vic says, I didn't know Craftsy was a thing. I will check it. Yes, you definitely should. They have a lot of really cool classes. I will say this, some classes I think are better than others. In my personal opinion, I think Craftsy does a lot of things right. But some of the classes, I think I don't know. I really don't want to bash Craftsy. Some of the classes are a little more helpful than others, and I'll let you use your own judgment in deciding which ones you feel are better than others. I would say across the board, all the classes don't all have the same level of consistency in teaching. And some of them I've been kind of like, Some of the classes I love, and I also think some of the instructors are higher quality than some of the rest, depending on how comfortable they are on camera and also how well they're able to really relay information. Maybe, and I may be a little bit biased because I do work in television as a producer, so again, I do tend to be a little picky about on-camera talent, I guess. I don't know. All right, Barbara says the bodice block lesson is on sale for $29.99. Do you know if it's worth it? I haven't seen it offered at any lower price. Barbara, are you talking about the Susie Furrer class? The one about like creating your own bodice? Is that it's like about creating your own, what's it called? Like bodice sloper. Is that the class you're talking about? I do actually have the class, and I don't think I paid $29.99 for it though. I think they were having a sale. Occasionally, like, all the classes will be on sale for like $19, or I'll see a sale where they're buy one get one free, or like buy two get one free. They have so many sales at Craftsy, they're hard to keep track of. But Barbara, if that is the one you're talking about, I watched the first hour of it, and it is complicated. Like, making a bodice sloper is no joke. I have not personally had the time to dedicate to making my own bodice sloper. And I will say, watching the first hour of the class made my eyes glaze over. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot involved in this. Yeah, so Barbara, I do have that class. I would say if you have the time, if you can dedicate the time to doing everything she says, she has you take a lot of measurements, and it seems like a pretty complicated process to make the sloper, and I just haven't had the time and energy to do that. But I did buy the class during a sale, and I don't think I paid $29.99 for it. I think I paid like $20 for it, and that's why I was like, well, since all these classes are on sale, I'll just get them now. All right, Stephanie says, I got all my sloper classes for about $20, and Stephanie, I think I paid about the same as you. It was either a sale where they were all $19.99 or something, or it was a sale when they were like where it was like the buy one get one free class. They do that a lot. So Barbara, I would actually wait to see if, and also another thing that you might want to wait for, if you don't plan on making the bodice sloper right away, wait for those Black Friday sales. I have no doubt Craftsy will have some sort of crazy blowout Black Friday sale, because even their normal sales are really good. So I personally don't really think I pay over $20 for any Craftsy class, in my opinion. But tomorrow, if you want to check it out, Barbara, because of the Labor Day all you can watch day, you can see if you think it's worth it, or if and that might give you a better idea. But in the description box below, again, I have linked to the Craftsy promotion, so you're welcome to check it out there. But yeah, they have sales all the time, sort of like how none of us buy patterns at full price from McCall's because there's so many sales. We're all kind of conditioned now to wait until McCall patterns are on sale for 99 cents or $1.99, and I am no exception to that. So, well, I'm glad we could at least sort of get the show into a more upbeat note after. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on, and it's just been a really hard week for everybody. So let me know also if you're joining us, what do you guys have going on this week? I don't know, has this been tough? I don't know. It's just, I feel like this week's been so weird and just strange and depressing in so many ways. Hopeful and inspiring in other ways, but also still very, very tough. So let us know what you're doing this week. What kind of sewing projects are you working on? I'm actually more working on some video production stuff, so I haven't really been sewing. But I'm really excited because I do have some new YouTube lights, some new lights for my YouTube setup, and they make such a difference. And I'm actually, I love sewing, don't get me wrong, and I love creating videos. But for a while now, I've actually been wanting to gravitate and doing some non-sewing related videos. Just stuff I had in my head, stuff that I really enjoy doing or enjoy talking about. That I am going to be starting to post more videos on my personal non-sewing channel. So if you're interested in, if you know, don't think I'm totally nuts and you enjoy these videos and you would like to see some non-sewing videos, the new channel, it's actually not really a new channel. It's just new in the sense that I've been actually starting to post videos on there. The new channel is called Jen Talks Forever. And on my channel homepage, there's a link to it. And I also linked my YouTube Creator Day vlog was done on that channel. If you want to see some non-sewing Jen videos, that's where you can go. I'm hoping to post some cool videos there as well. Maybe more like, I love doing product reviews. I love talking about stuff I like and stuff that works for me or doesn't work for me. So I'm going to be doing some like non-sewing related videos over on this channel, Jen Talks Forever. If you'd like to support me there, you're welcome to. You don't have to. If you're just here for the sewing, I completely understand. And there's a lot of topics that I like talking about that don't have anything to do with sewing. But I just really, the initial reason I started this channel was because I felt like sewing was just so under the radar for so many people. You know, when you talk to people, your friends, family members, if they don't sew, they just have no clue what's going on. So the reason I started Sewing Report was to hopefully just maybe help give sewing a little more exposure, the exposure we deserve. But, you know, that can't get around the fact that I love doing things that are not sewing related as well. So that's where all of that content will live. And I know I talked to you guys a few weeks ago, and the general consensus is that non-sewing content can live somewhere else. So that's where it's going to live. I do have a playlist of some of my Jen Talks Forever videos on the Sewing Report channel. But if you like what I do here and you'd like to see some what I do when I'm not sewing or talking to you guys here, that is where you'll find me elsewhere. All right, we've got a few other comments. Kirsten, I had plans for tomorrow, but it's going to be over 100 degrees in the Craftsy event. I'm not leaving my sewing room all day. I think that sounds, Kirsten, I hope that sounds like a great plan. I would just say bring some snacks with you in there, maybe some pizza or something, and a bottle of wine. Just bring a whole bottle of wine in there. And I think that sounds like a perfect, actually, that sounds like a lot like my plan for tomorrow. So that's, I'm really hoping to watch a lot of these Craftsy classes that I have not paid for. So I think that Craftsy sell is awesome. I wish they would do it more often, especially for people who have memberships and that have bought classes in the past. I think it's a great way to show customer appreciation. I've got Deshinda, found my grandfather's vintage sewing machine, just trying to figure out, that sounds like fun. Are you trying to like repair it? Or are you trying to like just try to see if you could figure out how to use it? That sounds really cool. Stephanie, I made a fleece jacket for my 5-year-old daughter and a wallet for myself. I'm military, so tomorrow is a federal holiday for me. Stephanie, that's awesome. And Stephanie, thank you so much for your service. I don't know what branch you're in. You're welcome to share it with us, but thank you so much for what you do for all of us to keep us, you know, safe and keep us free. You know, I don't know if, I don't know how personal I want to get here or how sappy, but yeah, I do love this country, and I just think what you guys do, members of the military, people that fight for this country and help keep us, help protect us, I think you deserve all the praise and all the holidays you want. And also all the sewing you want. Stephanie, I think you should get to sew as much as you want tomorrow. And watch all the Craftsy classes for free. Barbara says, made a tank top today and have a jacket on the table ready to cut out. That sounds like fun. More fabric in the wash, being prepared for the stash. So that sounds like a pretty cool day to me too. So after the show is over, I'm probably gonna, I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna eat some pizza and try to, I shot a couple non-sewing related videos that I'm going to put on the Jen Talks Forever channel. I'm a few weeks ahead with Sewing Report, but there's still a lot that I always have so many video ideas in my head. I have a list. Let me see if I can find said list of So yeah, so these are all the I've got a bunch of videos that I really want to make. So I have a lot of videos that I have on the agenda, and I just kind of keep track of, like, if I come up with an idea, I just write it down. I'm like, that would be cool. Oh, sorry. That would be cool for the future. And then hopefully I'm able to make all of these videos. I've got Barbara. Thanks for reminding me. I have fabrics to wash. Marie, I have my first handbag on my sewing machine. Marie, that sounds like fun. What, is it from a pattern, or is it just like a self-drafted thing? Let us know what kind of handbag you're making. Sequoia, I made a couple of zipper pouches for my son and his friend. I have so many projects I need to work on. And I think you speak for all of us. There's just so much to do and so little time. And it looks like we're all gals in here, and we as women know how hard it is to keep all this stuff together. Running the household and, you know, doing all this stuff, it can be pretty exhausting. So anyway, guys, I'm probably going to sign off soon so I can eat some pizza and also work on some editing. But yeah, I try to shoot a few weeks ahead of time just to feel comfortable. And I also want to make sure that I'm not there's not a week where I don't have a video, because, you know, I have committed to doing at least one video a week and the show every Sunday. So I like to try to at least keep that schedule going. Vic, it must be hard being a news reporter around these times, seeing all the pictures and videos. It's great that you're feeling compelled to help. And Vic, you know, I will say I am not out in the field. The people that are out in the field, they've got it. They deal with a lot more than I do. Most of my career has been, you know, back in the newsroom, sitting there, you know, writing or doing other stuff. But they're, you know, those reporters out there covering the storm, you need to be like a superwoman or a superman, because it is a really, really difficult and challenging job, especially in these types of circumstances. And also, you know, you know how it is. They get, you know, it's a really tough job, and I think people don't give those types of journalists enough credit. They work extremely hard. Also, they don't, you know, most of the people in this business, they don't get holidays off. They work really crappy schedules, overnights, weekends, holidays, working Christmas every year. So it's a job that is not for everybody. All right, we got a couple more comments. I need to bake a bunch of films too. Yeah, Champagne Twist. Make some videos. And Barbara, I finally finished a McCall's jacket. Okay, that sounds awesome. What kind of, Barbara, let us know what pattern it is. Oh yeah, yes, Sequoia, I will definitely enjoy that pizza. My husband makes homemade pizza himself. He makes amazing pizza. So we still have some of that left over. I'm definitely going to be heating that up in the microwave right after we finish and start importing some of my footage. I'm really excited because these new lights I got they just really step up the production level, and I'm pretty excited about that. And thank you guys all for joining me again. I will see you guys next week for another show. And next week, hopefully, we are going to be talking about how much you should spend on a sewing machine. How do you decide how much to drop on one? Because I think it's something that a lot of us are like kind of second guess ourselves about, or you're not sure, especially if you're a beginner. So next week, let's come back here and talk about sewing machines again. And I will see you guys later. You guys have a great Labor Day weekend, and I'm about to eat some pizza. Yes, I know I'm sure you really all wanted to know that. But you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.